Right, I'm just gonna print everything. Limit y is way larger than I expected. 640 divided by 20 is shifted by 5 bits already. How was limit y used? Yeah. It's pre-shifted. What the hell? Oh no, of course, that doesn't change. Nou ja. I am on. "21 by 21, yeah, it's going to take forever. Debug mode. Let me change that to optimization. Nou, dat looks good. In a minute. Yeah. I wish I could write it. Can I change the... Can I change this back to something simply using assert? So not use this one, but use that constructor. Hey, buffer. Unit tests? Yeah, hardly. They're extremely time consuming. So what I usually do is I kind of test my code while writing it by adding asserts. And then I write all kinds of tests, but it's not really a test suite. It's more stuff that I run while writing it. And then when I'm done writing it, there is no test suite, but it works. Something like that. And the way I write it, it is robust. You know, I mean, if later I make changes to it, it just keeps working. That is the correct way to write something. So I think that oh yeah, I have loads and loads and loads of asserts in the real code. But a unit test is a separate piece of code that is not part of the production code or anything. It just tests your actual code. And I don't believe really in those things because I think what happens then is that people just write a random code. They hire some monkeys or start hacking on the keyboard at random, and then as soon as something gets through the test suite, then they say, yeah, it works. But that's not true. The code that you get then is code that gets through the test suite. So unless your test suite is testing 100%, it's very likely not to work. And it's almost impossible to test 100%, I think. It's better to do it in a statistical way. So say you can test something where in a way that the chance that there are bugs exponentially decreases as a function of the number of test steps that you take, which is in my eyes totally different. That holds. Say you write a test suite with 100 tests, then you write code for it without testing it, and then you run it and it works. I mean, that it goes through the test suite. So iteration 1 passes all 100 tests. Then the chance is extremely high that it is completely bug-free. But if your first iteration fails 30 out of the 100 tests, and then you fix those 30, then the result is going to be something that is broken in absolutely everything, or 30%, except those 100 tests, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I think it's a statistics thing. But yeah, this very program here is a prime example of how many things can go wrong. I had so incredibly amount of instances where I did compile but didn't work, that if I had a test suite that I would be relying on instead of relying on common sense and my experience, then I would have the feeling that my code would exclusively pass the test suite, but not be sure about how good it would be outside of something that is not tested. I want to create a square compact using this one here. Yeah, so I just should pass whatever I pass to create as template parameter now as a constructor argument. Suddenly we don't have a limit y. A second ago I did. Oh no, type. Stupid thing. So I think if I pass just an unsigned integer here, and then it says, hi, this is not a type. So it was thinking that I was for declaring a function. So it makes sense, I suppose. So this is the return type, this is the function name, and then normal parentheses. Yeah, you have to pass a type. That's where when you have to use braces. That should not be there. Yeah, that too, yeah. Yeah, I don't like them at all. Expected expression. Didn't really improve, did it? Calling a protected constructor. No. Oh, the bloody larger than is still there. Yeah, I deleted everything, including the opening parenthesis of the create, and then everything after it. That is the larger than angle bracket of the template, and the two parentheses I just left in. Well, complete stupidity. Finally, I arrived at something that actually looks normal. And still it doesn't work. Error. Const expression variable bks must be initialized by a constant expression. Yes. How is this not a constant expression? Constructor square compact cannot be used in the constant expression declared here because it's not declared constant expression. Okay. I have to add const expression back here. So the problem was that before the const expression didn't compile with an assert. And I am not sure how the assert is defined, but it should work with a normal assert. And if it doesn't work with my capital assert, then I will just fix that, damn it. But it works, okay. So I type on Discord, okay, now it works. Now it works. The assert in a const expression constructor. And next I want to be able to write this file, and then I can compare it with, well, that file actually. This would normally write it if it would compile, I guess. Create file name, writing, open the file name, fail to open, and then actually write it. Close. Stuff. Reading the same file name, open it as an input, and then call read from. Testing. Contents for black to move. Yep. Totally happy with that, except that I completely broke the, well, actually commented them out, the write to and the read from, because those did not compile. Let's just add it back, write to. I'm using a custom color scheme, which is on my GitHub. Are you on Linux, Mac Claim? I can give you the link, but it's work. So you have to tell me that you are on Linux and use a TrueColor console and that you're using NeoVim. Otherwise it makes no sense to give you the link. Well, I'll just give the link to get repositories. What about true? Yeah, that's fast. this writes for all possible positions. All the infos, first for black to move and then for white to move. And when I say all possible positions, then I mean all x and y coordinates for all three pieces, no matter where they are. So I think what I should do is understand how exactly. I think it runs, the x runs the fastest. Do I have to run in the inner loop runs over the x coordinate of the rook, which returns an int. And that is then the white rook x coordinate. Oops. Which runs from 0 till the size of the board. And then before that you have the y coordinates of the rook. And yeah, the exact same thing for whatever comes before that, which would be the white king. And before that, again the same thing. But then the black king. Black king y from 0 till board size y. Black king y. Black king x. Black king x, black king x, size board x. White king y and x, y and x. Y and x, y and x, white king. White rook, y and x, white rook, y and x. Y and x, white rook, y and x. Okay. That is the order in which we want to run over this. And then we want to get the info, obviously. So I need an info. And then we can write it to the OS. Then I would get the correct file. And again, get the info by calling get info. And this was what? Black to move. And then I have to pass a board. So we have to construct a board. The board that belongs to that position. I think now we have everything. Yeah, and then duplicate that for white. Let's first construct a board. I have the following constructors: a black king square, a white king square, white rook square. Well, they should be able to construct those from x and y coordinates. The black king square takes an x and a y. Yeah, that should work. A white rook square takes an x and a y, which you just pass to a square compact size board. I'm already remembering it, I think, but let's look at it anyway. So the king square xy initialize coordinates with block index and square 2 coordinates. Yeah, so we get the block index from x and y. It's also just constructed from x and y, which calls xy to index. Yeah, well, I don't know, but this stuff works, right? So it just works. Black king. Oh no, I forgot it. Nah, come on. X comes first. In this case, in the x, y. Definitely saw that just. Yeah, x, y. Everything must be x, y. Okay. Black king y. White king x, white king y. White rook x, white rook y. And then I have to do the same thing, but with white to move, which means that it is exactly the same as this, and then I replace black with white. And I also want to be able to read it. How does that move? How does that work? I guess it's the exact same thing again. Just have to create a non-const info and then call this. Yeah, but that must be a non-const info, which will work because this thing is not const. We do not crash, and we do not print that we write anything. It is slightly annoying. I think it doesn't print it because I'm running. That is debug output, or this is without debug output. Yeah. So probably not make this debug output. Now this test only makes sense if assert is doing anything. Which assert is doing something if this is defined to 1. So even reading doesn't make any sense. I'll do if that is defined, then we have an assert, then we can read it back and test it. You're going to say, yeah, but without debug output, then is this defined? Yeah, I think it is defined. Hope it's defined. Actually not sure. Actually, I think it is defined. It should be defined. I mean, this I'm compiling it with in mode beta test, so I probably have to define debug then. So it might not do anything. And suddenly it doesn't compile anymore. Shocked. Oh, you're looking the info up here as well. Is that a better way to run over all infos? Probably not. I think I should change this into, again, yeah, I should change this into a loop that runs over all the partitions. Like so. Black positions. Then we have the info there. That would be info 1 then. Absolutely perfect, man. That looks like a different MD5 sum. I remember it started with an 8.4, I think. Eight six. Started with an 8 anyway. Yeah, that's not good on. Why is this different? Fuck. Why is this different? The size is completely different. Okay, they were totally way small. Way small. Possible, man. That runs 21 to the power 6 times 2. I don't know. Again, times 2. 343064484. So this is 4 times 21 to the power 6. I guess that's what I coded. Now what the hell is being stored here? I think the x coordinate takes 32. Because it's worse than that, isn't it? So this is black and white. So that's the 4 byte. Black and white is a factor of 2. And now my info is 2 byte. So that's a factor of 4. So I need to divide this by 4 and then take the 6 root, or how do you call that? To the power of 1 divided by 6. Or 2, 9, 4, 9, 6, 7, 2, 9, 6, divided by 4 to the power 1 divided by 6. And that is 32. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So it's using the full range of bits, all 5 bits of the one square coordinate. So this is sparse. That's pretty horrible. It's more than 10 times larger as a result of that. But yeah, if we want to compare it, we'll have to do this at least once, and then maybe I should go to this more compact thing. I think it works, but I should test it, you know, just at least once. I want to go to graph. So instead of running till 21, I should run till 32 for all of them. And then the question is, what exactly happens? I just construct illegal boards. It's not really a problem. Or is it going to assert? Do that. We construct a black ink square, say, with an X and Y that are too large. Then this is being called of index square to coordinates. It's nonsense. That can't even work. So this is 21. So I'm gonna pass up till 31 and then divide it by 21 and then hope that I get no. So I should not construct it with values that are larger than 21 or even larger than 20. Probably the same thing will same thing holds, I think, for the hook. I think I need to write a default constructed info. Which is just a wraparound classification. Default constructor classification, anyone? Yeah, exactly that. Man, I really hate this. thought it was called like that. It's not highlighted. Wait a minute, it was called is between. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. writing 10 times as much. Maybe never finishing. It stopped writing. It started writing again. Disk is not being used. What? I have this monitor where I can see the hardware stuff. It was writing to my disk, and now it's doing nothing. Invisible read, that's what it was apparently. Yay, probably okay. Absolutely okay. MD5 sum, the new file is 8672. Fuck. No. Why? Got the file size correct. Well, maybe. I don't know. Nah, just what the F. I have no good explanation for this. Yeah, the fact that it gets 188 correct, that means that it has to work. Damn it, man. What is wrong? Ah, I get it. I solved it in my head. How brilliant. Yeah, well, it is just a stupidity of me. Where is that code? In graph. I put 32 there as well, which is incredibly stupid. King white, king X. White, king Y. Black king X. No. Yes, yes. Yes, that is the correct value. Anyone doesn't believe me, I'll show you. Pum, 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 pum. Yep. Right, well, I thought so. I think I can safely delete this backup now. And I also should go back to, let's say, the more compact version. Or, yeah, totally, come on. Which means that Okay, well, that's still larger. The one from says to 8. How much larger is it? I think 32 squared divided by 21 squared. 2.3 times larger. 2.3 times larger. So it was 3 something before. Yeah, 3 something. Okay. Div. Don't really see a reason. Not really see a reason why I would remove the const expression. I'm not using it in a const expression, apparently, but maybe sometimes I want to at some point. It's a tough decision. I don't understand this marking as const expression to begin with, really. It doesn't do anything. If you use it and it can't be a const expression, then it's not a const expression, even if you have const expression in front of it. Only if you explicitly use it to calculate something that must be a const expression, then it refuses to compile if the const expression isn't there. But who cares? I mean, you could by default put const expression in front of everything that theoretically compiles. Yeah, I don't know. Let's I'm gonna remove it anyway, I think. Though this one isn't const expression either. Okay, let's keep all the constructors either const expression or not. This one wasn't, now removed it. Let's not have them be const expression in this case. And then we have this. God knows what I was thinking there, but it is shorter and it is green. Well, that has a different reason, but generating a test suit. I just moved that and changed the indentation, and it works. I did run it, and it is incomplete. I know that, but I'm absolutely too lazy to add more. Then we have this. Deja vu. Already looked at this. See, yeah, yesterday I removed the fix me's. Probably I did not commit that. Block square, compact block square. Parent info. I'm not happy with this, but I changed a member vector into an array. So you put it like that, it's the array is on the stack because the graph2 is on the stack. And it was way larger than it did fit on the stack. I should probably change that into a vector again, so graphs can just be put on the stack. Not be too large. Info node. No. Yeah, what is next? I'm too sleepy. I think I'm gonna quit. Maybe I'll